Richard Bell is here with columnist Bob Robb, who is mincing no words in his thoughts about the Department of Justice doing a pattern and practice investigation of the Phoenix Police Department. Bob, you're not a fan of this review, and not to jump to the end, but you think it's going to make the city less safe.
I do. I'm not a fan of the process generally, and I think it's specifically inappropriate when applied to the Phoenix Police Department. The purpose of the law is to give the federal government tools to actually eliminate and constrain illegal police activity. And it's not a matter of a police department screwing up here or there. It's a matter of policy, systematically violating constitutional and civil rights. And I just don't think that's a fair description of what's happening in Phoenix. And I thought it was particularly disheartening that not a single city official, not the mayor, not the city manager, not the police chief, was willing to respond and say, we may have our problems, we're trying to address them in a democratic process, but it's simply untrue that our police department routinely and habitually engages in illegal activity. None of them could bring themselves to say that.
And the activists, I mean, we've already seen in one meeting that even activists attending these hearings with Department of Justice are not happy with the process so far as they see it. But you think the activists are going to have a huge hand in this and being able to get their reforms passed, not through a council meeting, but through this process?
Yes, the whole process is anti-democratic. And while the activists are doing what activists do and protest and complain, in reality, the Department of Justice has the same view of what policing should consist of and what kind of accountability measures should be there, and has a track record of imposing things that aren't passing through the Phoenix City Council as a democratic process with the people who are entrusted by the body politic to make those decisions, of imposing that on local jurisdictions elsewhere. And that is the way in which the Obama administration used this law, and it's clear that it's the way in which the Biden administration intends to use it as well.
And I guess the other thing that is clear is that this is not going to be something that's wrapped up in a week or a month. We'll be talking about this for some time to come, I take it.
And that's one of the complaints of the activists. But the untoward consequences occur as a result of the investigation being announced. Street cops in Phoenix now know that they and anything they do is now a data point in some kind of antiseptic academic and legal exercise that has nothing to do with protecting the residents of Phoenix against predatory crime. And they also know that they have zero support at City Hall. So the safest thing for them to do, not at the conclusion of this, but while it's taking place, is to conscientiously create fewer data points. Street cops are rarely held accountable for a stop not made or an action not taken. And that's been the history of what happens when these things are announced in other cities.
We will mark this down as episode 1, because I'm sure we'll be returning to this topic in the months and possibly years ahead.